Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Plague Inc. Evolved, the early access Windows version of the cell phone game. First things first, let me ask everybody to turn off or whitelist me any ad blockers. Help me make a career. Today we're going to be playing as the Fungus on casual. We're going to use the metabolic jump, the genetic mimic to make the plague harder, the aerosite I suppose, we will use urban file, and then ionized helix or translation. I think we'll use translation plus. So, playing on casual, we have another fungus. Last time we went with toadstool for a fungus. I'm gonna just call this Assvestus. Now I know that is not spelled right. So, Assvestus, as it were. Much as in my bubonic plague, I'm just gonna call this Assvestus. And it is gonna be, let's see, a fungus that makes your butt get big. Bigger than a sweater vest. Big and furry like a sweater vest. That's Assvestus, the plague we're gonna do. And if we're talking about big butts and we cannot lie, then Colombians? Oops, I meant to hit Colombia, but Peruvians. I don't know why I think Colombians have some great booty, but I'm gonna go with it. Not like I know anything anyways. Turns out I was very much wrong about the effects of HPV in the last episode. It actually causes cervical cancer, not cysts, and it actually can cause cancer in males too. So it isn't completely benign. So, don't listen to me for your medical advice, of course. I don't know anything. I only sort of know some things, and half the time I'm wrong. Alright, so let's see. With the fungus, you're in this position of just trying to get it to spread. Starting in Peru. Trying to get it to spread to other countries far, far away. Peru, not a great place to start. No ports, no airplanes, and nothing that would spread it besides the borders. If Peru decided to shut down their borders for some reason, then we would be in some pretty good trouble. We've hit Bolivia now. Ever so slowly spreading. Have it all the way to the max on the fast forward. Really can't do anything else. Could try and give it symptoms to spread it, but I'm not ready to do that. Assvestus was supposed to be the real Assvestus, spelled correctly. I mean, was supposed to be a miracle product and was thought to be a miracle product for many, many decades in at least the United States and I think all over the world, as it was much less toxic and a lot safer and a lot more useful than the things it replaced. So coughing symptom has mutated we'll devolve that for 2 points. It wasn't until a long time later that we realized, we came to the conclusion, or possibly stopped being deceived about its health effects on people. Making tiny particles of dust artificially, in pretty much any tiny particles of dust, not good for the lungs of people. Can not be good for the skin of people. Can be pretty bad for every part of people. And asbestos are tiny particles with basically fish hooks in them, and you breathe them in, they tear up your lungs, they cause cancer, mesothelioma. There has been pretty much a standing lawsuit that's already won, where all the companies that made asbestos have to pay into this fund, and if lawyers can find anybody that has been affected by asbestos still in 2015, after much efforts have been done to not use it anymore or create any more of it. But if they can find people that get mesothelioma or in any other way have been harmed from that, the lawyers can take their usual 80% from that fund and give the 20% to the person who was actually harmed, which is a failure of our legal system in the United States. I have a theory that all public service jobs should be like the draft. I would much rather be drafted to be a police officer or fireman, a lawyer, or something like that, maybe to a skill I actually had, than to be drafted into the military, where they don't need people to be skilled. Really, they just need them to stand in front of a bullet. So let's try some cold resistance. We may use the 16 to get to the top tier of air and water. I haven't done that in the past 2 games because I've gotten enough people infected before to the point where it didn't seem like necessary. Fungus still having a hard time spreading. Very true in fungus. I would think if a real fungus was going to spread and infect everybody, what it would have to be, I imagine, is we'll refund that for 2 DNA points. It would have to be like a gigantic seaweed type fungus in the middle of the ocean that just grew and grew in some large portion of the ocean where we didn't catch it or see it, which is possible. There's all kinds of trash, little human trash floating around the ocean that the ocean's just so big it's hard to catch it. But say there was a gigantic seaweed fungus and it just spread a massive amount of spores into the air, just more than like the ash of the biggest volcano you could ever think. If it did that, then the air currents and the sea currents, wind currents and all, could potentially spread enough around. Like right over here, get all of the Americas, and then on this side get all of the Asias. Maybe get down here to get it up to Africa, maybe get it down this direction to get to the other side of Africa. And if just one of those did happen to do that, I imagine it could grow several other clusters of seaweed style fungus to continuously grow more and pour more spores out. But to get a spore to grow on like a seaweed in the ocean compared to growing on land is a pretty big quest. And then to get a fungus to have any of as many of the symptoms as we see in this game is really, really unlikely. Sure, funguses can be poisonous and cause toxic allergic reactions that cannot be treated by just a standard procedure. A lot of times you have to figure out the exact fungus, but to get a fungus so it grows in a human body, so its spores are coughed up from the lungs of a human being, that's a pretty big question. To get it so it is passed through like nausea or rashes, all of that, that's a really tall order. So let's look at the world and see how many countries have been infected yet. Still a big chunk of countries have not been infected, but we haven't been found out either. We've got 135. I think I may just dump everything into symptoms. If we get the whole world infected without being detected, I think I'll just dump everything into symptoms. We'll see if we can get all the symptoms. Still playing on. Fast forward. Afghanistan, for some reason, is having trouble being infected. So Africa sometimes has this not Africa, Russia here. Sometimes the red is more redder over here and lighter over here, like it is now. But sometimes it's lighter over here and more red over. Wow, I just said that the same way twice. Sometimes it's more red over here and lighter over there. That's interesting. If this is just an algorithm that randomly picks areas where it's going to put the dots, or if this has something to do with something, I don't know. Let's see. We started in Peru. We've almost got the entire planet infected. Our Assvestus. All around the world, people are developing big hairy butts right now. Giant, big hairy butts. So big and so hairy that they can no longer comfortably sit at all. Okay, so they just found this out. I probably could have been paying attention a little bit better and not had that occurrence happen. I have 72 DNA left. Let's go ahead and spread the infectiousness as much as possible. They're gonna have to install air conditioners in all the seats everywhere because of these overheated, super big hairy butts that everybody's developing. They're getting bigger and bigger. It's hard to even stand up anymore for most people. A lot of people just get stuck in chairs and have to starve to death where they sit. Anybody falls down, they can't get back up. Their butts are just too big and too hairy. This terrible, terrible plague of Assvestus. See, kids, this is how you take what would normally be considered as a failure, in the sense that I can't spell the word asbestos, and you turn it into a success by making a joke of it. So if anybody asks you to do anything and you don't know how to do it, just think of the dumbest, funniest way to say it. People will think you're joking and drop the question, usually. Although that doesn't work as well in school. Oftentimes that would irritate the teachers. But whatever. So we have New Guinea hasn't been infected. I want to see the world map. Caribbean, Morocco, and New Guinea haven't been infected. So 1, 2, Caribbean and New Guinea. So now we just have Morocco left. 3. 79% to the cure. Uh-oh. This is no good. I don't have enough DNA to stop them or kill enough people fast enough. I think I may lose here. I think they might find the cure for asbestos. 96%. Oh no. Oh no, I screwed up. Messed up. Cure for asbestos is complete. Oh no! The big hairy butts are being cured everywhere. Everybody is getting back their normal sized butts with the regular amount of hair, or lack therefore of. Oh no! Asbestos is to be eradicated. Even a few people came out of this with smaller butts somehow. My dastardly plan to kill the world with asbestos has failed. I have been defeated. Well, we tried. Maybe next time I'll use a smarter plan than just making people have big butts. That was 1,359 days. We did not get to a complex level of genetics. The cure was 100%. We got 39 for the fungus and no biohazards. I've been eradicated. Well, the reason we're doing all of this, of course, is to unlock more of these. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 are left. We next time won't play as the fungus again. We lost. We'll move on to the Neuraxis worm and see if we can do something cool with that. But that's the end of this episode. Sorry we lost, but sometimes it happens. At least you got to hear me talk about butts for an episode. As always, I ask you to like if you like big butts and you cannot lie. Share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me through fan funding, and you click on my name Rydo on the right, there's a blue button that says support this channel. Any amount you donate will be greatly appreciated. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus, or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.